we back for another episode of the Esports Central Podcast, and this one is super epic because it is the first reunion episode of season number 2. I got my boy Profeci with me. How you doing, lad?
It's good to be back, Kaameel. I mean, I don't know how much of a reunion it is, considering it's only 2 of us. We need, I think, all 4 of the old moaning minis. Need Axe Streams, and we definitely need a return of Glenn as well, to combine the powers.
Listen, we'll get them all eventually. I like to think it's a vision. One day we will all reunite for the flamiest podcast yet. But for now, it's a baby reunion. Profeci's back, and that's worth a lot. Talking about my boy Glenn, Profeci, I don't know if you'll even believe this, but I did a podcast with him the other day, right? And,
Yeah.
oh no, sorry, it was a meeting. And he came, and he was on time. Like, literally, he was there on time.
Yes.
I was shook. I was like,
I mean, you see, the problem is the people that don't know how podcasts work in the background probably just don't understand that. Like Glenn, if he was 10 minutes late, that was early.
yes. This podcast, again, I invited Profeci this week, and I was like, the easiest thing. I say 7 o'clock, we'll be recording already. If it was Glenn, if I said 7 o'clock, we would still be having supper now, because we know he'll only be here by 8 o'clock.
Yep. That is generally how he operates.
All right. This episode is it's kind of a throwback, Prof, because even though we're in season 2, it's we're doing the Esports Award show again on Esports Central, just stealing other people's label, lol. But, yeah, I'm going to be a much happier man doing this one, because I don't know if you remember the last one we did with Glenn, how fucking tilted I was.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, to be fair, there was a couple of things that were pretty stupid in the last one, to be fair, so.
You know what? I'm just a blind Dota fanboy, so the fact that there wasn't enough Dota winners, you was going to put me on tilt immediately, right?
That's a fair point.
This one though, they're a bit more fair to Dota. But let's just get into the whole layout of this thing. So, firstly, this is not actually a shill, guys. I genuinely mean this. But when I went to go look for results about this Esports Award show, the first and best results I got was from our boys Esports Central themselves. They did the fucking the finalists. They laid out the whole format, and they did the winners afterwards, which is what Esports Award Show couldn't do on their own fucking website. So shout out to ourselves, boys. We did it.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I also myself was like, oh, I'll just go to the Esports Awards website. It hasn't been updated. You just see all of the current nominees. So it's a bit of a disappointment considering you had to go elsewhere to find the actual results. But is what it is.
Dude, the motherfuckers are still asking me to vote on there. I was like, my guys, it's a bit late for that.
Yeah. I mean, the awards were done, what was it? I think the 20th, November the 20th, actually. There you go.
We'll get there. Maybe by the 2021 show, they would have updated the 2021,
Possibly. You'd hope so. You definitely hope so.
All right, so let's get into it. The first category, right? Okay, so I'm going to admit from the get-go that me and Prof, probably with the PC games and mobile game stuff, we're kind of lacking. If y'all know podcasts where they actually talk about that shit, let us know so we can be prepared for the next year's one. But the first category is a spicy one I love already, and it's the Esports Coach of the Year one. I think this is one of the most interesting categories. And the winner, Prof, was Mr. Heen from Team Secret. We're going to be hearing a lot of them, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, look, I haven't followed any of Dota at all this year. So when I pulled up Team Secret's results, I think it's very, very hard to say that he didn't have some kind of impact, because Team Secret has been on an absolute murderous tear this year. They've wrecked everybody. They've set up streaks for the longest consecutive tournament victories, longest victories just in general. They've had some utterly insane games, and if you look at things like in Counter-Strike, teams have taken turns to do well. One team will do fantastically at one tournament and then fail at the next. Like the French teams, I think they've come second 7 times between the 2 teams. So it's mad props to the coaches for getting the teams into those kind of positions. But when you've got a team that's winning everything versus teams that are up and down or not as consistent, I think you have to give it to Heen at the end of the day. Yeah, maybe he does have the best lineup, but outside of that, I think it's difficult to argue that he didn't do the best job given the resources and the teams that he was up against.
That's a very fair point. So the other coaches here on the list was Zeus from EG, Rambo from Dallas. I don't know if that's the Overwatch team. I'm not sure.
That
Tao
no, that's
what was
yeah,
it?
okay, no, yeah, that from Dallas. Yeah, I guess that'd be an Overwatch team then.
We got Tao B from Big Clan, Grabs from G2, Krusty from San Fran. That has to be Overwatch League. Zephyr from Dam One. I want to get back to him. Chrome Space Station Gaming, Lycan Space Station Gaming. So I don't know if it's two different teams from the same org or
Yeah,
two
probably
coaches from the
so.
same team. And then we got BSSYYY. I don't know, Luo Sheng. I don't know where's he from, to be honest. I never heard his name before. It's new to me. But the name that really stands out to me, Prof, is Zephyr from Dam One, because I think, listen, Team Secret undoubtedly had some of the best results and the best run in like esports history, honestly, at this point. In Dota, unparalleled. I was the biggest VP fanboy, and I'll tell you, this shit was better than that. It was better than Alliance. It was utter dominance. Sure, maybe it was online legs, it wasn't too much international play, but in the Europe region, which many people pinned as the strongest Dota region, they fucking dominated. Like, there wasn't even a competitor for 95% of this year. So I get it. I get why Heen gets it, and I'm a Heen fan myself. But if we look at a game like League of Legends, Prof, I feel like a coach has a much bigger impact, right, in a game
Yeah,
like LoL, because the
they have
game.
much more control.
Right. So I don't know. I think Dam One again. Korea finally got the championship back at Worlds. They played like they smashed the tournament. It wasn't. It was addicting, right? I don't even follow LoL, and I was like, wow, these guys are
Yeah,
doing it here.
you see, the problem is here. So you've actually got three coaches here. You got Grabs from G2. G2's been pretty much. I mean, there's people that actually argue that G2 might be the best team of all time in League of Legends. So that's
Wow.
Grabs' team. Zephyr from Down One Gaming. That's the current world champions from Korea, and then BSYY is from Top Esports, the team that came first out of China going into Worlds.
Oh, okay.
I think each of them had their issues. Um, Dam One is a very very good team. I'll take nothing away from them. They could Zephyr could have easily won this. For G2, I think G2. The problem is that this year is a down year in terms of G2's results. Like they won both splits. So in September, I mean, sorry, in spring they did the role swap with Caps going to AD carry and Perks going to mid. Wasn't super. It didn't look that great. Like there was shaky moments in there, but clearly that Grabs. You got to in Grabs' position. You're dealing with egos in that position.
Right.
It's like having a superstar. Every player in that lineup is a superstar in some respect. So it's really about juggling egos, and that is the one thing that I think we need to understand with coaches is that that's the stuff you're not going to see. It's easy to just be like, oh, this guy's a great drafter, or he can come up with great strats if it's CS:GO or Rainbow Six or something like that. But I think a very underrated part of the job of a coach is managing egos.
Right.
And that's one thing that Grads has had to do quite a lot this year because, as we saw, as soon as G2 got knocked out in the semifinals of Worlds this year, Perks wants out, it gets eventually sold to Oh, I mean, he didn't necessarily want out. He wanted his old spot in mid lane back, and that caused a problem where G2 is now left with: do you keep the better player in mid, or do you keep the guy that built your dynasty?
Mm.
So that's the kind of thing that Grabs would have been dealing with in the background the entire year, and that's been the one worry. So BSYY from Top Esports, again, very very good team coming out of China. They were odds-on favorites to win the World Championships going into Worlds, but from what I've seen and watched, they weren't necessarily the best team overall throughout the year in China.
Mm.
So
Okay.
I don't I don't know enough about the politics in the team to know exactly how things went there. But I from what I did hear is that like Top Esports, while they were dominant, they weren't like they were something of fool's gold, as in they were very good, but they were a little bit brittle when they first faced certain teams. So that's I think what probably ended up counting. And obviously, if you don't win the world championship, it's going to count against you here,
Yeah.
and that is unfortunately just the things at the end of the day. He's carrying a bag of trophies behind him, so he's
Yes.
odds-on favorite to win this, just based off purely off of the number of things he's won. And I mean, he's probably dealt with a couple of the egos on that team as well. He does have Puppy to help him out in that respect, but it's hard to argue when you've just got an avalanche of success.
Right. No, that's fair. That's fair. I think that's the one thing I could say I could count against Heen, not to take anything away from his Dota mind, because he is a fucking genius. Even at Liquid, he was, in my opinion, could have been in this award show winning that award from 2-3 years ago when they won TI7. But I think when you have Puppy in the team, like when it comes to managing egos, etc., like Grabs there, not to say that Team Secret doesn't have stars, because they're all 5 amazing players there, but Puppy is that iron fist. Everybody knows if you're in a Puppy team, the only fucking star there that has a voice is Puppy. So that's the kind of the taken care of from the jump. But like we say, this is not a award we're going to complain about, because again, Team Secret have fucking won everything, right? Yeah. So Heen was there, he was a part of it. Let's not take away his credit. But yeah, it was this one is the most interesting for me, because again, I think those League of Legends coaches, from what I've seen, like they can sub players, they can do so many things, and everybody knows from the last Esports Central Awards how highly I value the big victories. So that's why I think Zephyr, again, could have been a big part of this conversation, because his team did just demolish Worlds. I mean, all those things just came together.
Yeah. I think, let me just check the results quickly. I'm going to just pull up and see who won the spring. Okay, yeah, you see, that's why in spring, Damwon Gaming only came 5th, and that would have probably counted against him at the end of the day, because it's like, oh, he didn't win everything, which is like, I mean, if you're fighting like the best, if you're up against some of the best teams in the world and you come like 5th in your division, and then later on in the year you become the best team in the world, it's like, is it really your fault?
It's the OG thing of peaking at the right time, So
yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird one. I'm happy with the Heen award. So the next category is something, I don't know, me and Profeci are going to struggle with this one. It's Esports Console Player of the Year in partnership with Scuff Gaming. Get that bag, boy, Esports Awards. So are we gonna really comment on this one, or are we just gonna like let it just say the winner and let it go? Because I don't know how much you know about console gaming, Prof. I know fuck all.
I know very, very little here. I will say though that I think this kid, Shotzi, won both Console Player of the Year and like Rookie of
the Year, Shotzi.
For Call of Duty. So he must have been absolutely amazing. And I know Dallas Fuel is obviously, or the Dallas Empire is the old Envy team. So I would guess, and I do apologize to the COD guys, but they won CDL this year, so they are almost certainly like the best team of the year. And if he's the star player, I would have guessed it would have gone the same way. That's unfortunately the one thing that you got to remember with like a lot of these awards is that they are going to probably give it to the guy that wins the, that wins the prizes at the end of the year. So you got to like have a really good argument. You got to be like absolutely amazing to win it when you haven't won like the biggest prize in your game.
Yeah. And I think what I like about this console player of the world, again, I don't know console games that won, but the fact that he won Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year is like amazing. It's like what we spoke about Thompson at TI8, where this guy's playing his first TI ever, and he's out here just slaying it out from the worst of circumstances. So again, he's a new guy on the block and being the star player. Something I love about esports, and the new guy just comes up and shows up harder than anybody else,
Yeah, I mean, he's the 2020 season MVP. He's age 19, and he's like 2018 Halo World Champion, 2020 Call of Duty World Champion. So I mean, like, yeah, all props to the kid. Well done. I mean, if you're the league MVP of the CDL, I think you have to give it up to him, especially as a rookie. I can't argue with that.
I mean, just thinking about his achievements, to put it simply, this guy is a god of gaming. Take your fucking award, dog. Yo. No dispute there from me. Okay, next category. Okay, as console rookie of the year, we went through that. Mobile player, we know even less than console shit. But let's see.
I'm gonna be honest, I know nothing about the mobile stuff here. Like, I know that there's a mobile game of the year as well, which is Free Fire, but I'll be straight honest, I don't know much about mobile gaming. It's not been like, it is, I think it's a wave of the future. It's certainly in places like in Africa, in places like India, certainly in China, places where it's unlikely for people to either have easy access to a console or b a computer. I think mobile gaming is the way that things are going to grow. And It's just something that's never really interested in me. I've always used the phone as a tool rather than a gaming device.
Yeah, definitely generation from where we're coming from. But like you say, even Golden Boy, one of the hotshot casters in the esports world, he made a tweet about it the other day saying, like, listen, yeah, we need to get off our elitism high horses in esports and accept mobile gaming for what it is. Probably the future, because again, it makes barrier of entry to esports much lower. Phones nowadays are so damn powerful, and we just see even in the South African context, like PUBG Mobile is one of our biggest games, like by
Yeah.
far. Like it's so fucking huge because so many people have access to it. And again, the gameplay is good. Like the Nodwin guys we're casting for, it's like really enjoyable if you go in part of it. So our champion is Mr. Zaxi, PUBG Mobile player from
Indonesia.
Indonesia. Congratulations, sir. You the guy. Hopefully we actually, these old people move with the times and get on the mobile gaming hype and know who we're talking about when we talk about you for next year. But for now, congratulations to all we can offer, guys.
And I mean, you can see it's actually the first ever mobile player of the year award as well. So this is the kind of thing that we have to go into if we hope for esports to grow.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. So the next award is Esports Organization of the Year. So let me just read out the candidates here. We have G2 Esports, we have NRG, we have Team Liquid, we have Envy, we have Space Station, we have Cloud9, we have 100 Thieves, and we have TSM. So the first thing I think about when I see all those names, there's a decent amount of Western bias from the Western point of view, obviously where the sports show, award show is coming from. But it's a decent list from the West at least, right, Prof?
Yeah, definitely is a decent list. I mean, G2 Esports obviously had a fantastic CS:GO team this year. No, not a successful one, just a very good one. And then obviously League of Legends needs no introduction on their side. Cloud9, I think that would probably be because of the League of Legends team. Envy, that would be their Call of Duty team. Space Station Gaming, I think, would probably also be the Call of Duty team. TSM is the League of Legends team. I don't know why they're there. That's very, very odd. I would guess they probably have a couple of players in fighting games and all the rest that have helped them out there. But yeah, TSM's a bit of a weird one there. I think that's just like it's a big org and that's why they got nominated.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think like it was the winner was G2 Esports, but G2 Esports just continues their absolute domination of European League of Legends. Semi-finals at Worlds, won both splits. Then you go into their CS:GO team. I think 3 or 4 second places. They just picked up Nico. They're constantly one of the just in like one of the orgs with the biggest level of engagement. Coming from a European, coming from Europe, it means it's harder for them to actually generate that kind of stuff because you're dealing with multiple nationalities rather than the American teams, which have America basically to work with.
Right.
So G2 Esports, the fact that they've got as much of a following as they do, I mean, they meme gods. Let's be real.
Yes.
There's nobody that comes close to their meme game in esports at the moment. So yeah, I think it would be very, very hard to argue against G2 Esports in this spot.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, even if we look at, like, again, 100 Thieves, again, not the greatest esports team and had the best players, but, like, from a lifestyle, from a brand point of view, they are a very strong brand. And I think G2 fills both the requirements for me because they've got great fucking teams. And then, like you say, from the marketing aspect and stuff, like, dude, G2 are hilarious, dude. They are hilarious. I mean, we're not done with G2 just yet on this regard, especially because I'm jumping the gun here a bit, but, like, Carlos won Esports Personality of the Year, and I don't disagree with that.
Him, but yeah, he's primary reason why G2 Esports is the way it is. I mean, if you saw, especially back towards the back end of the year, with regards to just how much press they generated with the transfer saga around Perks, that alone should tell you the amount of like power they just have in the social media space.
Yeah, no, for sure. So this is definitely a fair win. No debate there. Now this category, finally, this is one of the most important ones for me, and it's one I finally fucking agree with. Esports PC Player of the Year. This is the big one. This is the big one. And you know who took it away?
Explain to me why.
Okay, so again, we come from the old school elitist background in fucking esports, where PC games, the League of Legends, the Counter Strikes, the Dota 2s, that's the quote unquote real esports, not this dumbass Fortnite shit. I'm kidding, Fortnite kids. Don't at me on Twitter.
Booga did get nominated. Yeah, I'm just pointing that out.
Screw Booger, man. Screw Booger. And for me, the most esport elitist game of all is Dota 2. And you know who won it from Dota 2? A Team Secret player, Nisha. Now, in last year's awards, if you remember me popping the fuck off, I said Nisha should have won then, right? That's when he was playing carry. He was the best fucking carry in the world.
And
this
I think
year,
Booga won, if I remember correctly, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because he won like the one tournament that Fortnite had all year.
Yeah. It was dumb. You Esports Awards guys at least improved. Last year, that was a dumb fucking decision. Fortnite ain't a real esports. I love the game, but it ain't a real esport. Last year, I said, so he played carry, right? Nisha was carry last year, was the best carry in the world. This year, he decided to go from carry to mid, not something that's uncommon in Dota, where you swap your position 1 to position 2, but he was the best mid in the world now, dude. He was the best mid in the world, and he's playing completely different heroes than he played in the carry pool. And it's just dominance. If you stand out if your team is the best team in Dota, and you the standout player in the best team, that's like another level of godliness. I think this is one of the best decisions made at this awards in the history yet, to be honest.
Well, I mean, again, it's like he just took home all of the prizes, and you can't really argue against that. Like, if I want to bring up someone like, for example, Caps in League of Legends, the problem for Caps is he didn't win the World Championships. He went out in the semifinals, so that is going to cost him. He played AD carry in spring. He played mid lane in summer. He wasn't perfect. He's still an elite level player. Don't get me wrong. Like, he had a fantastic year, even by his standards. But I think the team's results are probably what's going to cost him there. Ziwu, that's the kid born on the day that CS:GO was officially released. Sorry, not CS:GO, CS 1.6 as Counter-Strike.
Right.
He's born on the day that Counter-Strike released in stores. So not like the beta, which people were playing for a year or two beforehand. The day that you could buy CS:GO in a store was the day that Ziwu was born. He's currently in contention for the best player in the world. It's like a mental story, but I mean, still, probably one of the best players of the year. There's obviously an argument that Simple's not in here, and Simple has been as good, if not better, than Ziwu.
Right.
It's a very big debate at the moment. For Knight, he's a young Chinese player in League of Legends. I heard crazy good stories about him as well, that he's an absolute monster. But again, his team didn't win the World Championships. That is going to count against you. The rest of them, I mean, I would be interested to hear why. Is Matamba Man on Team Secret?
Yes, he's there. So he's Nisha's teammate.
So why would Nisha win it instead of Matamba Man then?
I mean, okay, so in a way, Matamba Man, everybody knows him as Team Liquid's carry. He used to play alongside Miracle, and he was the carry, but he was the number 2 in the team, where Miracle was the main man, big shot, right? He was the guy who fucking put the game on his dick and carried them to victory, so to speak. So that was always Miracle's role. So Matamba Man plays a very different role now in Team Secret. He can carry. Like, they pick him hard carries. He can hard farm. He can still play. He's like a very versatile carry. I do think he's, again, in the contention for one of the best carries in the world. And maybe doing what he does specifically is actually the best. But like you say, when you talk about that bias that goes against him, he's not a flashy guy like Miracle, so to speak. So maybe he's like, people kind of underrate him in that sense. And in Team Secret, it's really hard to say like he's the best, because again, you have like Yapso from a position 4 who can like really pop off in games and stuff. So I think if he won it, again, nobody can doubt his contribution, because Team Secret have all the accolades this year. But in my opinion, Nisha is the standout player. Like, he is.
Okay, so Nisha's the best player on the best team, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Let's say Nisha. I mean, Matamba Man could be like Lewandowski, a top tier footballer, right? But fucking Nisha is Lionel Messi. Like, that's just how it is.
Fair. No, that's perfectly fair. It's just I was trying to figure out exactly where he stood. Booga, I would guess this is because he's done something in Fortnite.
I suppose Benji Fish is also from the Fortnite world, I believe.
Yeah, Sinatra was the MVP of.
Was he MVP again? He was MVP last year, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm just trying, like, because I know that he went to He went to Valorant this year, but I just don't know how successful because Valorant hasn't done a whole lot. Okay, no, I'm confused like why he's here. But because Valorant, like while it's been successful and is certainly growing, I still don't know exactly, how much of a purchase it's had. So this might just be a holdover from Sinatra leaving Overwatch last year and joining Valorant early this year.
Yeah, listen, wishing him best of success there. Valorant, again, I do still, maybe again, it's old school bias where I rate the established esports titles higher because I think Valorant next year, when its season starts and things, I think there'll be, again, in the conversation, I think the
Yeah.
Valorant players will be much more involved in these discussions. But for right now, the esports scene isn't completely established. Although there have been tournaments and stuff, it's not like the LCS or the LES in League of Legends,
Yeah.
etc. yet. But Riot are planning that, so we'll see how it goes next year. So for now, fuck you, Sinatra. Dota 2 still king, boy. It's actually pretty cool that there's a few Fortnite players here as well. Rest of the guys, I don't think I recognize all the names here, but again, I don't follow every single title, you know?
Yeah.
So Sinatra makes it into the next category as well because Esports PC Rookie of the Year, he's there. So I'm sure it's because he went to Valorant this year. So it is a very
I would guess he's probably like he's probably like one of the best
right.
players in Valorant as well. He's certainly skilled enough to make it happen. I would guess he's probably on one of the best and most winning teams. But the problem is that kind of thing is like Valorant itself is new, so it's sort of like, okay, well, everybody's a rookie. Is it really fair to then give him like rookie when he's clearly been?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I guess that is kind of true because again, he's not a rookie. He's a former fucking league MVP. So he's been around the block, right? I mean, he has adapted. I think Overwatch and Valorant have quite different games, not the abilities and stuff. Like, this is my actually opinion in Valorant, is that the abilities and stuff take away from the. Like, I think the gunplay is actually pretty good, so fuck the abilities. I don't care about that. I think the gunplay is much more similar to CSGO. Obviously, not as good as CSGO. So I thought CSGO pros would be, like, for the majority, they look like the best players there, but props to Sinatra. I mean, Overwatch, he's showing aim. Like, he's showing that aim was a valuable thing there, and he's doing good things. So, credit to him there. The winner was not him, though. It was Kira from T1 Esports. From
Area T1.
Yeah, from League of Legends as well. So, you get props to him.
Yeah, again, so just to point things out, yes, Sinatra is moved from Overwatch to Valorant.
Right.
Wardell was from CS:GO to Valorant.
Right.
So I'm a bit like iffy on allowing those two, that kind of thing, because they just moved from a very similar game into that. You know, like you can accuse the same thing of that kid that won the console thing, because he's like already a world champion in Halo and then he moved to COD.
Yeah.
You can accuse the same thing, but it's like he was a world champion in Halo in 2018. He's like 19.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a weird one, yeah. So Carrier winning. Look, I haven't followed LCK enough to understand exactly why he would be so why he's put up here, but so some of the other guys, Speaker is, I think he was the, let me confirm. Okay, so yeah, Speaker was the jungler for TSM this year. TSM had a crazy run to finish off the year. I think that's probably why he gets in here. Tactical was the youngster on Team Liquid. Team Liquid looked very good at points this year, but that's a difficult one. I think like the problem is a lot of these guys, I wouldn't really count them as a rookie as such.
Okay.
I think that like moving from a game where, especially with Sinatra, you're the reigning league MVP when you leave Overwatch and then move into, and then you move into Valorant, and at that point is when you then declared a rookie. It's like,
kind of.
Yeah, it is kind of sus. I'm not the biggest fan of that. So like for me, like Wardell and Sinatra, I think are probably I wouldn't allow them to get voted in here. Fultz, I don't know that young man, but for Carrier, Speaker, and Tactical, you basically just have to pick the best player. And from what I understand, Carrier did quite a bit of work. Again, I don't know much, but I know that Speaker, TSM won summer summer split with like one of the craziest runs in the through the lower bracket, and
Okay.
then got like a full reverse in the final. But I think
Nice.
that's very like for him to get voted in here. He was okay. Like he's not like amazing. He did quite a bit of work, but the problem is they went to Worlds and got 06 and got bounced in like the most embarrassing fashion. So apparently he did pretty well there. He did some good things. He was probably their best player at Worlds. So perhaps you give him that spot, but I do think Carrier probably does win it overall, even though he didn't go to Worlds.
Okay.
So there's that.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Against LCK is also a very tough region. So if he was performing in
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is, like, junglers in NA where Speaker would play are not as great.
right?
Like he did perform against good teams at World, so you got to give him that. But I think Carrier, he's up against more elite competition just on the daily, as opposed to just going to Worlds and all the rest. So
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. So next category, I hope you guys can see the smile on my face again because Dota 2 repping once again Esports Team of the Year. Now let me not give spoilers. Let me go through the full list here. So we have the Dallas Empire in Call of Duty World. We have Top Esports from the LPL. We have Vitality from CS:GO. We have G2 from the League of Legends team. We have Space Station Gaming in Rocket League and Space Station Gaming for R6. So there actually are two teams in this list, which is actually impressive in its own right. And then we have obviously Team Secret in Dota 2, Damwon from League of Legends as well, San Francisco Shocks for Overwatch, and Shanghai Dragons. That is a big, funny thing to say Shanghai Dragons in the name because before we just meme it every episode. But yeah, obviously completely different team now. So the winner, Prof. I'll have you take a guess who won that award.
Team Secret.
There we go. There we go. You know why? If you guys have been listening to this podcast, you already know why. Because they're the best fucking team. Like Profeci was saying from the jump, a historical run of games. They won like a metric shit ton in 100 game fucking, not even series, just in 100 game run. They had like an insane win rate of over 80 games won. They fucking won like 10 tournaments in a row this year. It's thing not just winning tournaments, right? Because everybody wins tournaments.
Smashing
right?
tournaments.
They were smashing. There was no equal to them. There was no challenger to them. It was domination, absolute domination. So this is the easiest Team of the Year award ever. And remember, Dota is a very competitive game. Obviously, this year again, it's kind of sad we didn't have LAN play, so we couldn't see cross-region play. But that's just how esports went this year, right?
2020, like you'll see there's a couple other things that I'll point out for some of the other awards why certain teams or like why certain winners actually happened. But yeah, I mean, just again, Team Secret, like the best argument for any sort of getting any sort of prize at the end of the year is just win everything.
Right.
If you can win everything, nobody can just stack those stats. And Team Secret did that to a level that we've never seen before in Dota 2. So congrats to them. Are worthy winners. The rest of them, I don't think they were probably like for me, it's odd to see Vitality in here because I think this is a little bit more recency bias. Because Vitality's been a strong team throughout the year, but like I wouldn't say that they're necessarily the best team of the whole year. Because there's a couple of other teams that have a better, possibly a better claim in CS:GO specifically. So Team Secret, I can't argue with that. With the stats they put up, they deserve to win as this.
Yeah, like it's genuinely it's hard to argue this year. Like there's nothing to say. Like genuinely, they were the best, right? Don't even.
Yeah, and the thing is, they beat everybody in their region, and like the limited amount of cross region play they had as well, they slammed everything. So yeah, you can maybe say Damwon Gaming, they play in LCK, but unfortunately, League of Legends means that you only play in your region. You play a set amount of games. Then, if you're lucky, you go to MSI, which I think was cancelled this year, and then you go to Worlds. Yeah. So that's literally the only options they had. They obviously can't put up this kind of numbers that Secret did, and that's why they wouldn't win it.
Yeah. I think next year, like, I just want to make a little teaser for the Dota World. So firstly, can I just go off track here for a bit? I think Dota and the way Valve is doing things is really making me start to sweat. This game could be dead game because they really don't give a fuck. But
Oh, I mean, you're only experiencing that now, Mr. Dota fan. Wait till you come to CS:GO and see how poorly they treat us.
dude, it's so sad. I'm watching like League of Legends got to have a bubble this year, right? I don't see League of Legends making $500 million over like 5 compendiums alone. Like they could have had a fucking bubble for TI, but they didn't want to
Yeah.
do it because they were lazy. They put together a whole fucking online league plan. That's the whole format going forward. Not cross region all the time like old school Dota. They have leagues. And online Dota's been happening regardless. But they were like, yeah, we on holiday, we're enjoying lockdown. Fuck that. Everybody can starve. Forget that the players can't eat. There's no money going around. Let them suffer. That's next year's problem. I'm on vacation now. Like, how fucking disrespectful can these motherfuckers be, dude? Like,
I think that's bad. Like CS:GO, they just told they said that we were going to have a major in Brazil in May.
right.
Right now, remember how bad Brazil's stats got,
Yes.
right? Then they were like, okay, it's not going to happen. We'll let you guys know later in the year. We're
Dude,
still waiting for those crickets to stop.
I don't know, dude. It's like, I think the problem, I think, with Valve.
All that they did was they like announced that, okay, we're gonna like change the qualification now because the qualification for the old majors, like, a couple of things have had we now have to do like requalify for the
Right.
major. Except like they've never told us when the major is going to be. So imagine all the points that you have now, like that you've qualified till now in the year, and then like let's say the majors next year in June.
Right.
So what happens with the points that you won in like March of this year? Can you use those for a tournament happening 18 months later? That's the problem. And like they just don't say anything to us about CS:GO, so it's just the situation we've been in.
But yeah, I feel like the problem with Valve is, right, okay, Riot has other games now, right? They finally Riot Games instead of Riot Game. But like Riot, all they got is this League of Legends thing. Every ounce of their fucking time is dedicated to making sure League of Legends runs well as a game. They're gonna make sure the tournaments run well because they're literally the biggest esports in the world. The advertising there cannot be downplayed. It's amazing. They have all these things to worry. But you know what? It feels like dealing with Valve from both the CSGO and the Counter-Strike perspective. Way worse in Counter-Strike. Like that dad left home like 18 years ago. He's never given a fuck since. But it's like, you know, when like we just little kids, and by us I mean like Richard Lewis's and Nahaz's and all the fucking big entities and pros in our eyes are just little kids, and Valve is this big 50-year-old billionaire, and you're coming there to talk to him about your lemonade stand, and he's like sitting there nodding your head. It's like, you're a little kid and I'm a billionaire. Your lemonade stand could get fucking smashed with a meteor, and I wouldn't blink because that's the reality, right?
That's the best description I've ever heard of Valve is that they aren't the parent, like they're the parents that are basically just like they just leave you alone at home. So if you get up to all kinds of crap, then like it's up to you basically to like run your show. They'll come in every now and then and like slap you if you've done something stupid. But outside of that, they don't really do it. It's not like they don't control you. So
Yo,
in some ways it's good. In many other ways it's terrible. So it is what it is.
dude, they don't care, dude. They don't care. Mommy don't love me no more.
Nope.
Ish. Valve. Okay, let's get back on track here. We can complain about that shit company the whole time. We still love you the most. Love you, Valve. Rep Gaben. So esports. Okay, so this is the next, like, the casting and broadcast side of it. Talent.
I think it should be done.
Okay.
I think we need to celebrate the skills and the abilities of the people doing that. Because remember, you don't, unlike sports, we can see the play that the players do. You know, the play that the players put on a sports field, but you can't see that in the game. Like you can see the character moving, and you can see something that takes a large amount of skill, but it very much does come down to the fact that the talent are the ones that have to weave that story to make things more epic.
Listen, I think not to downplay the role of esports talent, because I think what the casters, the commentators do is fucking amazing in esports, because a game like Dota without casters just looks like a fucking light show. Might as well have a disco ball going. But the casters, they make it come alive. They point out all the little nuances that are so impactful, game changing, etc. So what the esports casters do, again, it cannot be downplayed. Even their personalities in the how they function in the world and stuff in esports, they're so much more of a big deal than normal sports. But here's my issue with this thing: them having awards. It's good to motivate them and all that nonsense. But how do you decide who's the best caster? There's no objective metrics about who's the I mean, a player, you can say this guy won tournaments, he had this KDA, he had this. But casters
Okay, but I
are
mean,
completely subjective.
I can use the exact same thing. What makes Lionel Messi better than Cristiano Ronaldo?
But then it always comes down to nuances. It's undisputed those two are the best in the
that's-
world, right? Because
Yeah,
one, they
but
score the most goals, they make the most assists, their teams win the most trophies.
Why does Messi win the Ballon d'Or one year and Cristiano Ronaldo not, and then the reverse the next year? Like 2018, obviously. Remember what's his name?
Modric.
Yeah, Modric won it, and everyone's like, okay, apart from the World Cup, Modric wasn't as good as either Messi or Ronaldo in that year.
Right. But there's still something.
So why does he win it? So why does he win it, but not them?
Like, there's still something.
There's no objectivity. Everything is subjective.
No, you can still say at the World Cup, the biggest biggest sporting event in the world, you had X, Y, and Z impact, right?
Okay.
But in casting, so if let's say Toby One gets picked to cast the finals over OD Pixel, now is that a knock on OD Pixel? Does he have control of who's gonna cast the finals? Like, it's completely subjective. It's completely subjective.
True, but I think remember the people voting for this are people that actually work in the esports industry.
Right.
So I would hope that they are doing their due diligence to make certain that the people that they're A, nominating, and B, voting for, they believe are the best at their job. You know, whether you like the fact that they do League of Legends or that they do Overwatch League, regardless of that, like the people that are voting for, voting for each nominee, I would hope that they've done their due diligence to look at this person and say, this person has been better overall this year than another person. Like they haven't had a weak game where they've sort of phoned it in or had a weak, had a couple of flubs in a broadcast or something like that. Have they been consistently excellent? Have they made the best games better through their work, either on the desk or on the as a caster? That's, I think, all you can ask for them to be.
Right, that's fair, right? Don't get me wrong. And all the people on this list are the top in the industry. They don't have fucking bad days. They show up every single time. Mad level of skill. But now let's look at two names on this list, right? We have Frosk and we have Fogged here. Frosk is this cool personality, sits there on the desk, has some swagger. Like, there's things that they bring. I actually enjoyed the League of Legends panel more than I enjoyed TI's, or not TI, general Dota panels more, because they have this kind of stuff. But then from another aspect, you have Fogged, who's like a super nerdy guy, but provides such cool insight into the game. He has like a next level understanding of what's happening because he has a lot of experience in the game. But like, how do we decide what's a better metric to measure by? Is it this personality? Yeah. Is it the analysis? Like, who decides that shit? Because if it was up to me, I'd just have like some super fucking nerd there, RTZ, talking about game every time. Like, this guy fucked up in this lane. That's done. That's the analysis done. And because RTZ said it, that's my favorite caster now,
So, sorry, is that analyst or is that color caster of the year?
No, that's analyst. That's analyst. I'm an analyst. Because I think, in a certain way, you do get talent that are just like far above the rest, better than the rest, right? Like, if I look at Machine as a host, for me, I think the guy is probably the most talented guy in esports in terms of how he can commentate, how he can host. Not because of he's so technical, like, because he just got a talent. He's just that good. Like, technically, he's just fucking amazing. But I don't know. For the most part, I just find these awards for talent, like, just, I don't know. It just feels fucking meaningless to me, man. So like, okay, so if I look at the guys that were awarded here, it's the level of interest they bring to the cast, right? So for Askurin, the problem for her there holding that position is that the way League of Legends does it is they put you on panel and they put you as a caster. So you sort of have to play those dual roles. And I do wonder, because
she unfortunately came in for a lot of criticism in the semi-finals of the worlds. Like the cast that she did in semi-finals of worlds was very badly received.
Right.
And she and the guy that she cast with both admitted that it wasn't up to their standards.
Right.
Right. So something like that could have affected her. LS, look, LS is
But like, do
a
you understand?
difficult.
Like, yes,
No,
that's
no, no.
like this
I
the
can
center of the
totally,
problem.
this is an incredibly subjective one.
Right. Right.
But I
Right. Right.
think
Right.
you have to look at what does that person adding just them, how much does that change the quality of the broadcast? And that I think is what is going to count against someone like Fogged. Fogged is he's kind of just like a baseline personality, like
He
he's
got that
very
X
interesting.
factor, right?
Yeah, like, he's very, very interesting, but he's not going to bring a whole a cast to
Right.
life. Now, if you've seen the work that Sponge has done over the last year, you'd like he gets onto he'll get onto the desk and he's instantly funny. He's got all the kind of jokes in the world. He'll take the Mickey out of himself when things have to happen. But at the same time, he's willing to criticize the team. He's not going to be nice to a team if they've played badly.
Right.
He's going to go in on them and say, "This is not acceptable. We expect more from this team." And that is why he's won it here. He's been absolutely fantastic for a number of years now. And this is just rewards for a lot of time spent crafting a fantastic personality on a desk, an engaging personality on a desk. He's not just going, like I said, he's not just going to toe the party line and be nice and say, "Oh, this team is like very, very good, and we should make excuses for them," and that kind of thing. Like, he's not going to do that. If you're playing badly, he's going to do it, and especially because of how much work he's done this year. I mean, ESL's been running near permanent um, tournaments online since March,
Right.
and Sponge has been on each and every one, and he's made each and every one entertaining.
I mean,
And
fair.
that is the thing. LS, he's obviously had a lot of controversy surrounding him in the last last month or so. But I think he's fantastic, but he's also very you either love him or you hate him, unfortunately, because of the way that he is like absolutely. He's a person that like he believes what he believes, and he will stick to those like the rules that exist in his brain.
Right.
And
Right.
that is
Right. Right. Right.
he's like the ultimate example of like imagine if, for example, in Dota you had a player who was who all he did was like farm the lane, and like his entire game was built around efficiency, and anything that wasn't efficient would like break his mind if he heard about that. It's like,
Right.
why would he? And that is like how LS functions. Like, he like functions according to like the strict laws that he himself has created
Right.
in League of Legends, and he's been absolutely fantastic this year at it. His side streams that he did for Worlds and all the rest got major amounts of press. He works on the League of Legends broadcast as a caster and an analyst. So a lot of people, first got to know him there, but he has been great this year as well. It's just I think he's a difficult personality to like for
Right.
certain people, and that's the kind of thing um, that can count against you. Fogged, I think he I wouldn't say he lacks personality, but he's just not as vibrant as someone like Sponge.
Yeah. But yeah. I get that. So I think okay. So from the winners list, the Esports Central syndicated article doesn't have the winner for analyst of the year. So I don't actually know what happened there.
Sponge won
Sponge.
it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So props to him. So we have the casters of the year, color caster of the year. Between again, Frost makes it to the thing as well. Alice is there again. Moses, Londa, Merc, VDS, Chance, Kickstar, Fogged, and Henry G. So the winner of this one was fair enough. Caster of the year, play by play. So we have the finalist
Captain
Uber,
Flowers.
Maven, Captain Flowers, Quickshot, Dracos, Ibai. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Anders, Semler, and Obich Pixel. Captain Flowers, where are they from?
Captain Flowers is from League of Legends, but he is
Okay.
fantastic. He is absolutely fantastic. For anybody that wants to go and have a listen to that guy, I can highly recommend him. He is genuinely amazing. I think he only started like 5 years ago,
Right.
and he only made it to like top level League of Legends. I think it was last year, beginning of last year, beginning of 2019. And this year he was like far and away the best of everybody.
All right. Okay, let's go to the next award, yeah? So we have Esports Host of the Year. We have, okay, I'm not going to go through all of them because I'm tired of all those lists. We have Shocks who won it. I
Yeah.
don't think many people would argue against that.
Absolutely fantastic. She worked in CSGO, she worked in League of Legends. She was fantastic at both. And just generally a wonderful all around personality. She brought a lot of well, she actually brought a wonderful story as well to the League of Legends broadcast at Worlds as well, which is I think an important part of why she
Right.
probably did end up winning this, but she's a deserved winner. She's been at the top of her game for many years. I'm not 100% certain if she's won before, but she's certainly a worthy winner.
Okay, so next award was Collegiate Award. I don't care about that. Fuck that award. Content Creator of the Year Award. This is an interesting one as well, right? So the names on the list are Ashley Kang, Esports Talk, Musty, Hex, Nade Shot, and Up Down Down.
Okay,
Good
so
names there.
so for anybody that doesn't know who Ashley Kang is, she might seem like a bit of an odd one. She primarily does interviews and translations of interviews with the LTK teams. So that's basic. She's basically the primary hub. If you want to know anything about interviews or insights into Korean League of Legends, she's the one you go to. And she's done very, very well this year as a result, and gotten a lot of press as a result of off the back of that. So, just for anybody that isn't aware of who she is.
So, okay, I don't know all the names in this list, right? Actually, other than Nade Shot and Ashley Kang, I don't think I know anybody. So I'm not going to make too many comments. Just we'll announce the winner in a sec. But again, Ashley Kang, like I think she was on the list last year. I don't think she won last year either. But like in my opinion, I think every esports needs an Ashley Kang. What she offers, the bridge between two different scenes, is fucking amazing.
I mean, imagine we had someone like that in Chinese esports,
dude,
because now all of a sudden you start, because now you actually start understanding the personalities of the players, because that has often been the criticism. It's like, I mean, why is ISSI so loved? Because he's got a crazy personality. He says funny things, but it's like, I mean, half the nicknames of the old school Chinese players are still from like things that he would tell you.
Right.
So like Ashley Kang does like a wonderful job at giving insight into how the into like how Korean League of Legends players think, and like they've often very often been criticized of being robots, because A, you don't understand what they're saying, and B, they're all, you know, because of just like cultural considerations, they're all like very polite, and they all nod their head, and they all do sort of the same thing.
Yeah. So for sure, we're missing out. But the winner here was Up Down Down. I think I should go Google this person afterwards because
Do
I'm
you
sure.
not know Up Down Down?
No.
So Up Down Down is the it's the YouTube channel of a WWE star called Xavier Woods.
Right.
Right. And basically what he does is he plays like he plays console games with like the other WWE guys, or he'll invite like other famous wrestlers and all the rest
Right.
on, or just like various personalities. But it's been going for a while, and he's like absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
Because like his natural personality is to just be funny. Like the one year at WrestleMania, like he and the two guys on like his team or whatever, they walked out dressed as like Super Saiyans, like complete like blonde hair, all of the armor. This year they came out as like Gears of War guys with like the Gears of War armor. So like definitely somebody to watch. Like he's not super serious, and I don't really know if he goes under esports, but he is like certainly a funny guy, Xavier Woods. And Up Down Down, his channel on YouTube is definitely worth like at least a watch on occasion, because it's not super serious, and he's done a fantastic job at being as successful as he can under some pretty harsh restrictions, if you know how WWE operates.
Right. Okay, that's fair. I think this year I'm not gonna tilt because there was no TI, but last year I gotta go back to this. I'm still fucking mad about it. They snubbed Sir Action Slacks. Obviously, the Dota fuckers didn't want to show up to the panel, so it's their own fault for not putting names through.
Fault, yeah.
So Dota scene buck up. But yeah, the content that he made for TI9, some of the best esports content. Obviously, I don't consume that much other esports content, so I don't know. So I'm not knocking at anybody else, but it was the good shit. But this year there was no TI, so slacks. Fuck you, man. You don't make the list, but next year. Esports Personality of the Year. Also, a very nice list of people. We got our boy Carlos from G2, Golden Boy, Nade Shot, Shocks. So Shocks made it to 2 lists. Dr. Lupo, Faker, Hex, Frosk, and Fallen. Obviously,
Faker, I'm not certain my Faker's in there again. Like, I don't think he's done much this year.
it's the
And
RTC stream thing for League of Legends, dog. They just have to exist.
Yeah, it seems like it. And
that's
like
enough.
Fallen as well. Like Fallen's in here, but Fallen, like he's been in the news for all the wrong reasons. His team has like fallen apart at the seams with like every kind. Like just think of any kind of bad news that you don't want associated with your org. He's basically been involved with it. Everything's sort of like match fixing and that kind of stuff. It's like, like there was a team where it's like during the qualification for the major that we all thought was going to happen. There's a team that MRBR ends up playing. Oh, it just turns out that like Fallen and the manager own part of that team. Okay, so why is this allowed? Then it's like, okay, that like then Valve just says, oh, you have to get rid of the ownership of that team. You can't own the ownership. But it's like, okay, well, this still happened. How is this allowed?
Right.
Then I think there was like one player that got kicked from Fallen's team, and then he was just like, okay, well, you're not allowed kicking players from my team, so I quit as well. It's just like the most petulant manner of dealing with everything. So it's like, Fallen should not be on this list. I'm straight up telling you that right now.
All
Fallen
right.
should 100%
I'll
not be on
take
the
it.
list.
He's from CSGO. I don't like CSGO, so I'm happy anyways. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But yeah, I mean, Ocelot, hard to argue against that man.
Yeah.
Again, he's been an absolute monster at playing things this year. So again, I mean, owner of G2 and G2 won Esports Org of the Year. I mean, I don't know, to give you an indication of like how Ocelot has run things. So the G2 team picked up Nico in CSGO. Right now, Nico is famous as being like one of the most like hard-headed personalities who wants things done his way and generally ends up taking over the team and like being the captain of the team at the end of it, right? So the day that he gets announced as like he's joining G2, the current G2 captain posts on Twitter. Now remember, you can only post these things if your org and the owner of the org allows you to. He posts, can't wait to get kicked in 3 months for Nico to take over. And that's the guy that like Nico is going to have to play for, like, you know, for the foreseeable future. That's like his own teammates. Like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get kicked in 3 months.
Dude, they're just so funny, dude. Like when he tweets, like everything he tweets is so funny. He's like tweeting at the LCK teams, how much can I buy you guys off to fix the matches for Worlds? Like he's just hilarious.
And the video that he made
The
with
president.
like where he spoofed Trump and like every American president for the last 20 years.
Oh man, Carlos for president.
That was absolutely. If anybody hasn't watched it, please do yourself a favor. Go to the G2. I think it'll be on the G2 YouTube. But go and like search like President Carlos. I think it's called.
Hilarious.
It is like some of the funniest stuff that you will ever see. Like you might not understand the full context in terms of League of Legends, but it is like hilarious how badly he memed his team in that thing. Because like he like straight up admits at points that like, oh, like we're the only hope for Western League of Legends, so you need to get behind us. And then like meanwhile he's like, oh, because they got like slammed by a Chinese team every time they play them. And he's like, and then they have like this shoe fly by, and the shoe's got like China written on it. If you check quickly, it is genuinely like some of the funniest video content you'll see. And he played it off.
Anymore feels bad, man. Okay, esports commercial partner of the world. You guys don't pay us to do this, so it's actually a decent award thing.
Yeah.
Game of the year in association. Okay, fuck the sponsor. You guys don't pay us. League of Legends won. So we had League of Legends, CS:GO, COD Modern Warfare, Dota 2, Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, Valorant, F1 2019, and Fortnite. Did League of Legends actually win this?
Yes, they did.
Oh, okay.
And I can tell you immediately why.
Okay, go for it.
They ran Worlds in a bubble.
I mean, fair.
Can't argue with that. Like you pull that off. You pull that off. Not a single person tested positive. There wasn't a single issue with most of the other things. Their league ran throughout the
Right.
year. It didn't have any other issues and all the rest. Um, Props to League of Legends.
Yeah.
Like they didn't reinvent the wheel, but they ran the entire year without any issues,
And
and they
even the way they
ran.
market their game and stuff, though, Prof is way ahead of any other game. Like Overwatch League tried to do this, but they don't even. It's nowhere
Problem is
close.
the game doesn't suit it. League of
Yeah.
Legends, they know what they have. They don't try and curry too much favor at this point with the general public. They'll keep pushing what they've got, and they did a fantastic job at it. So massive props to the League of Legends team. I think deserved winners this year. The rest of the guys, they didn't really do anything.
Well, yeah, especially for
Crazy.
Dota 2, they literally did nothing. So
Dota 2 CSGO did nothing. Fortnite, I mean, F1 2019, I'm confused by that. I know Rainbow Six Siege got wrecked hard this year because they were expecting to transition to LAN this year because they'd been running an online league for the last 2 years. And then there was the North American side was meant to switch to LAN.
right.
But all of these games, so like CSGO, Fortnite, Dota 2, I don't know anything about Formula 1 there. Rainbow Six Siege, Valorant, all of those games basically function with teams playing cross-regional.
Right.
And League of Legends, they couldn't do it, but they don't do it anyway. So the fact that they could run an event like Worlds and be successful at it is the reason they won. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Like, yeah, I just think that I think it's a pretty clear cut decision. I completely agree, and this is a Dota fan, so you have to know, right? Next big category that we have to talk about: hardware provider. Again, we skipped that because they don't pay us. Esports journalist of the year. So we have Adam Fitch, Tyler Esberger, Fion on Fire, Jacob Wolf, DK, Richard Lewis, Thorin, Ashley Kang, and Emily Rand. Emily won this. So journalist, again, I think this is an important award because I think journalist is different from like a broadcast where I say it's all subjective, whatever. There's people who do the good shit stories that like really make a difference, right? And
so Emily used to work for ESPN before they shut the division down. So she basically was out of a job like a month and a half ago. But she has consistently posted absolutely fantastic information. But again, any of these people would be worthwhile winners. Tyler Erzberger is Fion on Fire. I think most people would know him. Thorin and Richard Lewis. I mean, it's basically like you basically create this award, and those two are in there every year. Jarek Lewis, he's obviously taken over from what Richard Lewis used to do a lot of.
right.
DK, he originally started as just a guy that somehow got player changes moves, just like the basic, oh, this player's moving to this team. But he's branched out into like a ton of different things now. So huge props to him here. Ashley Kang, we mentioned earlier.
Is Ashley Kang also one of those people that just gonna make it to all the list all the time because there's no equivalent to her at this point, I think.
As that saying goes, real recognizes real. Like if you're getting onto these lists, you're doing good work.
100%.
Jacob Wolf as well. He mostly breaks transfer news in League of Legends. Tyler Erzberger floats between a couple of games, but all of these people would be worthy winners. And the fact that Emily Rand won it, major props to her. I've seen some of her stuff a few years ago in League of Legends, and definitely she's done very good work.
Right. Agreed. So, Esports Publisher of the Year. They don't pay us either, but Riot Games won it. I really don't want to talk about them.
Again, they ran Worlds. Not a single person tested positive. Everything ran. They ran Worlds in China.
Right.
And they ran a bubble successfully.
Fair.
Like, you can hate anything else you want to say. They pulled it off. They got Valorant off the ground this year as well. So I think it was basically fait accompli that they were going to win this. Valve is like the only real competition this year. And let's be honest, they didn't just drop the ball. They dropped the ball and the basket and everything else. They dropped their hands basically this year, have Valve. So they weren't winning this by any chance. The rest of these guys, I can't see them winning at all. Like, I mean, technically Riot is owned by Tencent, so I'm not quite certain why there's two separate entries. But
does Tencent own Epic Games as well?
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
I mean,
They have some
Tencent's
nice
like 40% owned by that South African company.
Naspers.
Yeah, Naspers.
I remember you told me about this before. Actually,
Yeah.
that's how I know.
So,
Uh,
so if you want to blame anybody for Tencent owning everything, blame South Africa.
yeah, but we still can't get servers, so yeah.
No.
Thanks, Naspers. Thanks. Okay, so the rest of the awards. Okay, let's just go through it quickly. Let me just bullet it, okay? Wait, I'm looking at the wrong list here. I need to look at the
Yeah,
winners.
some of the ones that we probably don't care too much about. At
Right.
this point.
But we're gonna go through them. Let me just see. Okay, so what haven't we gone through here that we have?
Supporting Agency of the Year. That went to
We
the
can
Character
skip that.
Select Agency. I don't know anything about any of these guys.
Just skip them.
So yeah, major props to whoever won that. Esports Creative Team of the Year. They went to Paper Crowns. I don't know who they are. I don't know any of the other guys that were nominated there.
Content Team of the Year, League of Legends, LC, LEC.
LEC,
Sure.
fantastic. Like again, a lot of their work was very, very good. ESL might have had a chance, but unfortunately, ESL they just did the same broadcast for like the last 8 months. There wasn't really any change in what the
Right.
broadcasts looked like, and there wasn't much difference. And I think that's probably what counted against them at the end of the day.
Yeah, fair criticism at ESL. They're always too professional, but nothing creative.
Yeah, there was it wasn't very creative, and I
Mm.
mean you can understand why, but it's going to count against you at the end of the day.
Fair. Esports Cosplayer of the Year, Glory Lamothe.
I don't care. I'm sorry. Like, it takes an immense amount of skill to get into cosplay, but I just don't care for it.
I think that's everything. Best Esports Creative Piece of the Year in association with eBeats LOL season opening. I mean, do we really care about that? No, because it's League of Legends. I'm kidding.
The Play of the Year going to what's the name? But I mean, again, like we'd have to show the Plays of the Year.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. Who
So
won?
Zontara is winning this. Like, Zontara is winning it. Is like, I mean, the joke is that he's the most online player in the world anyway. So.
All right, fair enough. So we basically went through everything. A lot less heat and fire from me as opposed to last year, because Dota repped.
The problem is, like, the thing is, with a lot of these are easier to understand. Would be the best way to say it.
Right.
Last year, like Booga winning Player of the Year because you won the the World Championship of Fortnite. It's just like you can't be serious, bro. Can't be serious.
Plus.
It's like winning a free throw competition and naming that guy MVP of the entire NBA. Like, what are you talking about?
What are you fucking dunk contest deciding MVP, Lamau? I didn't even perform. I don't know if he performed well like last year throughout the year in Fortnite. I'm not sure.
No, because there was he won the world championship in Fortnite. That was literally all he did.
But he wasn't even like one of the impressive performances. There's some people who like god games in Fortnite, right? Where you look at him, it's like, holy shit, this guy is. But like he won in like a pretty simple way. It was no like all-star standout nuts performance. It was just he went and did business. Good for him.
He just won the world championship.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Takes skill to win it. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying, like winning one tournament. It's why I'll always fight back against the fact that like OG is the best Dota team of all time. You can't pitch up to one tournament all year, win that, and then be like, "Woo, we're the best." I don't care if it's the biggest tournament of the year. I don't care if it's the hardest tournament of the year to win. You can't win just that in an entire year and then like say that you're the best team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they
like. I'll take the guy that's grinding out wins every day of the year and happens to lose at the biggest tournament of the year, but he's got 9 other titles to show that he's done the work.
Yeah, we rep Team Secret out here. Even though I was shilling for OG last year, the hype's kind of died down, because they legit only won those 2 tournaments with this team. Nothing else. Like,
again, it takes an immense amount of skill to win TI. It takes an incredible amount of luck as well. But you have to be prepared going into those tournaments. You can't just win 2 though and then say that you're the best ever. I don't care how much money they pay you at the end. I don't care how many teams you had to beat to get to the end. You won 2 tournaments.
Fair enough.
When you got to grind for 9 months to get there in the first place, it says a lot more about how good you are.
All right. I like that. That's a good sentiment to end off with. All I want to say is next year, 21, keep up the good work. Because 2019 was a garbage year, Esports Award. But 2020 was right. So 2021... hopefully Dota's still repping. Hopefully Slacks makes it to the content creator list, and then I will forever be happy.
Yeah.
Anything you want to see next year that we missed out on, Prof?
Sorry.
Anything you want to see next year in the Esports Awards that we missed out on this year?
I think I'd just like to see just a better show of it, because that's the one problem with the Esports Awards is they kind of like run it at an odd hour, and the fact like the website's still not updated, that's just kind of kind of janky. That's all I'm saying.
All right, that's fair. Okay, cool. Thanks everybody for tuning into this episode of the Esports Central Podcast. Find us on all the usual places: Google Podcasts, Apple Music, Spotify, the whole shebang. The YouTube channel, also the best place to watch these because we have video. Yay, you get to see Profeci's face and things. And of course, follow the Esports Central publication on esportscentral.co.za and on all the various social media platforms. Thank you all for listening. Till the next one, goodbye.